everybody. New episode of The Art and the Artist. I am here with Ashley Monique. How are you doing today, Ashley?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's cold, but I'm doing all right. Doesn't rain a lot in California, so I'll take what I can get. All right. Okay, well, let's just get this thing started. Where are you located and how long have you been an artist?
So I'm located in Toronto, Ontario. So I'm in Canada. And I've been doing art for, I would say, all my life. Like since I was a kid, I've been drawing. But as a career, maybe like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay. Are you from Toronto? You're born and raised out there?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, well, shit, I shouldn't be talking about cold. I mean, it's got...
Right, it's snowing. Nope, yesterday.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, man. Oh, that's great. No, I love the snow, though. Okay. All right, so you said you've been always drawing your entire life since you were a kid. So you always knew that. I mean, maybe not when you're a kid, you think, okay, I could be a professional artist, but it's always been something that was on your mind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Apart from just drawing and like doodling and stuff when you were younger, what was the first art medium that you really picked up and ran with?
I would say graphite and charcoal. Graphite and charcoal, I really enjoyed working with those mediums just because I find them to be very, very versatile. I know that like it doesn't have color or anything, but I find that you can do a lot with the shading and just like I would draw with my fingers. Sometimes I'd use a paintbrush with them. Even it's a very versatile medium. Those two.
Okay. All right. That's dope. So are you primarily a digital artist now? I mean, I want to get into some of the pieces in a little bit, but from what I see, on like your IG, is it primarily, I can't talk, primarily digital art.
Yeah, it's been primarily digital art for the past, like I said, 4 or so years, just because it's a lot more convenient, and I do have a son. So when I was pregnant, it just became so much easier just to focus digitally.
Yeah. Okay. Was it when you picked it up, was it easy? Was it some learning to get from traditional like drawing or painting to using the digital, or did it come easy to you?
I found the transition very easy. Yeah, like it didn't I find a lot of artists say it's difficult or it's just weird, it feels different, but I don't know, I just found the transition, like once I learned the program, like Procreate, it just came really quickly. And like I love that the brushes mimic like traditional stuff. So yeah, it wasn't too hard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, because you're how I would describe your art, it's very elegant. And I think that's the right word for it. It's I can tell it's really no problem for you now. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Yeah, I had a very good time going through your page. Yeah, it's very nice. Okay. All right. So growing up in Toronto, then, would you say that the environment that you were in inspired the way that you create?
Yes and no. I just find in general, I draw inspiration from my environment. So yes, but I'm sort of in my own little world whenever I'm writing. So I never really thought about how my upbringing or my environment being from Toronto affected my work.
Okay. All right. So when your family and your friends found out you were going to be a professional artist, this is what you want to do with your life, how did they take that? Were they supportive, or did you have some people, I don't want to say react negatively, but because I know when it comes to the arts, it's sometimes it's like, are you sure this is what you want to do?
Yeah. I would say that my family was supportive in their own way. It definitely wasn't their dream for me to be an artist. They had different aspirations for me. But for the most part, they've been pretty supportive. Like my mom will like buy me like materials or certain things like from
that's nice.
Yeah. And I find like the family that's my age, like they'll be pretty supportive. Like the older generation are a little bit like they're always asking me like, "Are you sure this is what you want to continue to?"
Yeah.
Da, da, da. But for the most part, everybody's pretty supportive.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's good to have that support. You know, it's funny doing these interviews. I found out it's kind of 50-50. You get the
Mhm.
really supportive families and the ones who are like, you know, why don't you go to school to do something else? But no, it's I feel like if that's what you want to do and if that's your passion, that's what inspires you. I mean, how can you not do it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you're a self-taught artist. Did you ever take any classes or study art in school or anything?
Yeah, I went to school for 2 years and got a diploma in visual and digital arts. The program that I took was very like fast. Like it
Okay.
had traditional painting, it had digital art, it had different programs and stuff like that. So I think that's what that inspired or influenced my work a lot. Because if you can look at my work, like I do a lot of different things
Oh yeah.
sometimes. So yeah, I think my background with that studying sort of influenced that because
Mhm.
covered a lot of ground.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so then having gone to art school and, you know, really studying all the different, you know, techniques and things like that, would you say that, I mean, from a technical standpoint, I understand. I mean, it's very good to know. But do you think, or let me rephrase that. Did you have any, I don't want to say trouble, but was it ever an issue with maybe professors or teachers wanting you to do art a certain way and you wanting to implement your own kind of style into the pieces that you make?
Hmm. I didn't find that issue actually
Okay.
in
Yeah.
school, which was very interesting because I expected to find that, but I didn't really find that. I found our teachers really wanted us to um, express ourselves and like find our own style.
Oh, that's good.
Um, and they encouraged that. So,
Okay.
no. The only issue I would say I had was like, I didn't have any Black teachers. They were all
Uh,
like white or whatever. So, like, they never really understood some of the messages in my work.
oh, I see.
The only issue I think I found.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 I know how that goes. Okay. Okay. Then what would you say? When we talked about like environment and stuff inspiring you, what would you say inspires you the most to create? Because some of the pieces are very, or maybe okay, let me get into a couple of your
Mhm.
pieces right now. Okay, so you have, I'm not sure if this is a particular series, but there are pieces of a man and a woman embracing each other. It's one called Her Sun, His Moon, Lost in You, and Our Piece. Okay, and when I look at these pieces, I think, you know, I think of love. You know,
Mhm.
that's the feeling that it invokes in me. So what, and I'm not sure if this is, you know, what you had in mind when you were making this, but what is it about, you know, like love that inspires you? Is it like the feeling of love, being in love, or just, you know, witnessing, you know, others in love? What is it about that makes you inspired?
For me, it's just witnessing others in love. Like I see a lot of couples and like there's people in my family who are like dating or like in relationships. And I'm like surrounded by a lot of love.
Yeah.
So that sort of inspired those pieces because I feel like in when you're in love or when you have love, you should be at peace. You should be happy. Like there shouldn't be any emotional struggle, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it should be not necessarily easy, but like easy with that person.
Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm just inspired by a lot of the love that I'm seeing around me. Like I'm seeing
Hmm.
like a lot of my cousins and like family are in relationships and they're really healthy relationships and it's really
That's
happy to see that. So like that's what's been inspiring me lately to draw
yeah.
those couples. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those are great. Cause, you know, I will admit I'm a very affectionate person. So
Mhm.
those, yeah, those pieces really really struck me when I saw them. They're great pieces, by the way, too. Yeah, I love those. Okay. All right. So did you ever find it hard or maybe kind of struggle with time? Because I understand that, I mean, coming up with a concept for a piece, and then, kind of sketching it out, and then fully, finishing it. I know you said you have a son, and just family in general, right? It could take up a lot of time. So was there ever an issue that you had with, having family, and then just your daily life in general, and finding time to create?
Yes. Um, um, my son is very, 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 very demanding of me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to like block out time. Now that he's in school, like I just block time, and I'm like, okay, from this to this is when I create. Like I have to do a lot of scheduling, which is hard for me because I'm a very spontaneous person. Like when the urge to create comes, I just want to like pull out my iPad or like get a paintbrush or and like go. But now like I have to be very, very like rigid with my time for creating now. So I do find issues in finding the time to create when I'm inspired.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So see, that's the difference. When you get something inspires you and you have an idea that you want to do, that's when it can get tricky. Yeah. Yeah. I totally understand. That's why, when I do these, I got 3 kids. So when I do these interviews, it's all right. Okay, I can't do them. I love you, but I can't do this with you around. It's gonna be too noisy. Yeah. So I completely get it. Okay. All right. So in Toronto, it's a big city. Is there like an art scene down there? Is there like-minded artists around you, or do you hang out at galleries or other artists?
I feel like there is. I think that I've just been pretty like I said, in my own world, kind of closed up. I haven't really like branched out and tried to find community within the art scene here, but I do think there is a pretty big art scene. This year I'm gonna try to like put myself in these spaces and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of like things people say about Toronto when it comes to like the creative scene, but I'm not gonna get into that. It's just that it's like it can be cliquey, I guess.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I think that comes with every community. There's like cliques. There's people that are there and whatever. But I think it's a very welcoming scene as well. Like anytime I've gone to a show or been a part of like a group collective showing or something like that, everybody's been great. So
okay, that's good. It's
I need to just put myself out there.
Sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. Because I think you're right too. It's kind of like that everywhere. Even here in LA. You could imagine, but when I do go to certain shows, it's cool though, because I'll see certain artists that are, kind of clicked up with other artists, and they come to the shows, and it's very nice. But like you said, it is very welcoming. I have noticed that. And I do think that, I've said this before, that this generation, like your generation of artists, are much more welcoming and not so closed off, and like willing to share the recipes, if that makes sense. It's I found it a little different with the older generation, that and it's not everyone, but it was more, I'm gonna get mine, and you guys get yours wherever you can. Okay, so you've shown before. So do you remember how it felt when you first got that invite to be part of a show, part of a collective? I could imagine it's super exciting.
It was really exciting. Yeah, I was like, really, me? Like, wow, okay, you're part of your show. Like, yeah, it was exciting because I've always like felt like my work was not good enough to be like shown, or like it's not gallery type work or whatever. But I was happy. Like it was really exciting. Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I think your art is fantastic. All right. I would have reached out to you if I didn't think so. No, well, that's great. All right. So are you looking forward to showing a little bit more then out in Toronto soon?
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you say that your style developed over time? Because the cool thing that I like about your art is, you know, if I were to scroll through like just a timeline, I could tell that you made it, right? It's very particular to you. So did your style evolve over time, or was it kind of a trial and error? Or and I mean, it's not just one thing. It's you know, you got a couple, you know, things that, I mean, look different, but did it kind of come over time, like I said, or was it, all right, I'm just going to try a couple things and then whatever I like the best, I'm going to stick with that?
It sort of came over time. I know, like me personally, commissions are so difficult for me because I'm so like not particular, but I want to give the client exactly what they want.
Oh yeah.
So like my style actually developed through doing commissions.
Oh, okay.
Anytime I do a commission, I try to like give them exactly what they want, but I always try to put my own style in it, like really
Yeah.
make signature, like put my signature in there without
Yeah.
have my signature on there.
Sure.
And I found while doing commissions and like just experimenting, I developed this style, and I really like flowy lines, like really
Yeah.
clean lines. And I found like I used to make like I like really sketchy work as well, but I also like really clean lines. So I found like through doing my own personal work and then doing commissions for people, because when I do commissions, I try to make my work a lot cleaner.
Okay.
I found, oh wow, I really like using shapes. I really like using like really flowy lines, and like I really like really thick, thin. Like I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
it's sort
Okay. No, I got
of
you.
different things for different people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what do you like better then? Is it doing commissions, or because I mean, doing commission, you're getting paid, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you gotta get paid, but is it as fulfilling, like just making a piece on your own that you wanted to do, and then, you know, having that work out beautifully, or um doing a commission and just having, you know, whoever you made it for just, you know, absolutely love it? Does it feel both the same?
It doesn't feel the same. Neither feels better.
Yeah.
Feels really great in different ways. Like whenever like I'm a gift giver, and sometimes it feels like I'm giving a gift. So when
Yeah.
somebody's really, really happy about it, it just makes me feel really good.
Oh yeah.
And then I do something and I make something and I really love it. Like it's really fulfilling because I'm like, oh wow, my idea came out how I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of it. So it's two different feelings, but they're both great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So I have a question about popular culture and maybe how that, you know, influences your art as well. Because I saw these, oh, let me find them here. There were these pieces that, man, I absolutely love these. It was there's one of, and they're sort of in the same style. It's one of Michael Jackson, then you have one of Whitney Houston, there's Malcolm X, and hold on, and Bob Marley. Oh, Serena Williams. Okay, and they're all sort of. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, all right. So when people do these sorts of pieces and it's of, you know, something popular, in my opinion, it's, you have to make it your own, right? It can't just be, you can't just, you know, copy the picture exactly how it is, because I mean it's not much, you know, different than the reference. But the way that you do it, I don't know. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. So what is it about popular culture that inspires you? And does it what how am I trying to put this? How does it influence the way that you create?
Um
Oh, and before you answer that,
yeah.
uh like especially with these pieces, is it because, I mean, you made them, I mean, for a reason? Is it because they inspire you also? Was that the reason, or part of the reason why wanting to do this?
Yeah, I was doing like a Black History Month thing where I was like
Okay.
every day I would kind of draw a different Black historical figure or popular person that inspired me that I really like. So that's where that was from. Popular culture influencing my artwork. I mean, I like drawing people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes that why I will draw like popular people is who I see, so I'll
Okay.
draw them. But in terms of it influencing my work, like I don't really think it does
Okay. Okay.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there was something that I saw, it was called Musy Mondays. And
Yeah.
okay. All right. So okay. So I didn't know who was in the picture first, right? In the piece that you made, the first couple that I came across. And I guess the Instagram is Haripatra. Am I saying that
Mhm.
right? Now,
I think
is this okay? This is someone in Toronto?
yes.
Okay. All right. Now these pieces, even before I even knew who that was, okay, these are absolutely wonderful. And
Thank
you have also lots of, I mean, pieces with women as the subject, okay? And and like I said, when I look at your art, the first word that comes to mind is elegant, okay? So do you find it important to first of all make these pieces with women as a subject, and also to capture the, I guess, the femininity in it all, because it's very, yeah, beautiful and feminine. And why is that important to you?
It's important to me because like growing up as a young Black girl, like I was made fun of for like every little thing, like my
Mhm.
nose, hair, like I had a hard time not fitting in, but like understanding my place. Cause like people were not very nice.
Okay.
Um, and I just want any Black woman or any woman looking at my work to be like, yeah, women are beautiful, or like feel beautiful, see themselves in the
Yeah.
work. Because I know what it feels like to not feel beautiful. And like it takes a lot to get over that stuff. And I hope to be like, not like this beacon of like, oh, you're beautiful, but like I want people to look, or women to look at my work and see themselves in it and
Yeah.
feel like soft and feminine and like pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you did a fantastic job. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I love these. Okay. Okay. All right. So you have a piece called, I think it's called Unwelcome. Let me find it.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. This is a great piece too. And this one, yeah, it's a little different than the other ones, right? Okay. And in your Instagram post, you said, have you ever experienced intrusive thoughts? All right. Now, from my personal experience, okay, I used to have a hard time, right? Until I saw a therapist. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, and I I would dwell on things and just think about things I really should be, and then before I know it, I'm thinking about bullshit for about 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So with this piece in mind, uh, did you ever, or like, did this piece come from an experience that you have, or having problems with sort of the things that I was talking about kind of thinking about things that aren't good for your soul for a little bit too long?
Mhm. Yeah, I have like a very overactive brain. Like I
Yeah,
overthink
yeah,
and
yeah.
super like vivid imagination. So
Mhm.
like when I have these times where like I'm overthinking, like you see how like the brain is like sort of like
Yeah,
choking the person. Like
yeah,
I feel that, like I feel like like I can like I literally visualize that happening to me. That's where that
yeah.
from. Um, so yeah, it does happen. I do have very intrusive thoughts sometimes.
Mhm.
And like my brain just it like snowballs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah. Would you say though that maybe even just creating this piece and just creating in general kind of helps act as, kind of therapy in some ways? Do you kind of just get lost in the art when you're creating?
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely get lost. It helps me to sort of relieve the stress and understand what I'm feeling. And like
Mhm.
after I make the piece, I sort of like go through, okay, why did I feel this way? Why did I create this? I sort of journal, and that
Okay.
helps as well to
Yeah.
just release whatever is bothering me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Speaking of journals, all right. So I read here that you journal a lot, and then you have these pieces. I guess they're journal entries, kind of. Okay, all right. Yeah, these are fantastic too. All right, so these journal pieces, were they, was this along, sort of the same lines of just kind of putting your thoughts into these pieces? Because when usually when you think of journaling, it's and also some of these have like writings with them, like poetry with it also. You also write poetry, is that correct? Yeah, wonderful, multi-talented. Okay, so with these pieces here, at first I thought it was great too, the journal entries being being the art pieces. Or so how did this series come about?
I was trying to write a lot more, and sometimes I just have like these short blurbs or poems that just pop into my head and I just jot them down. That's sort of from.
Okay. All right. Yeah, these are great.
Thank
You
you.
ever think about, once, I'm not sure how many you plan on doing, but releasing these sort of in like a book, like a series of them?
Mhm.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because they're absolutely wonderful pieces. You have some black and white pieces, right? And okay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Trying to remember.
Or maybe you colored them in. I don't know, but they're very it's
Oh
near the
yeah.
top of your art page. Okay. Okay, yeah, because you know what? Whenever I see black and white pieces from an artist, especially a digital artist, I always think, oh, like that would be a wonderful coloring book. And especially for, yeah, my mind starts wandering. All right. I think too much also. But you ever thought about making a coloring book? I mean for anyone, but especially for, like young black girls with these pieces.
I actually thought about making a coloring book. Those two pieces are actually for a coloring book I'm doing with
Okay.
like of artists, Shadow Art Misfits.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I had
Um,
I had Junebug on the podcast. She's the best.
that's for them. Um, but after doing this, I was like, wow, I really like how these came out. I might just do a whole series. So I actually am working on a couple of pieces, just like I'm very, now that I did those, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to make it look the same. Like I have to like get lines right. So I'm still working on those like other ones. But yeah, I do a book.
Okay. Oh, awesome. That's probably how I found out about you, was through the art misfits.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. Yeah, that's a very cool collection. Hold on, how did you get connected with them? You submitted something online to them and they found out about you? Or they okay.
No, I knew some of the like on from Twitter, I knew some of the people already in there and they asked me to join. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's very cool collective. I like what they have going on there. And then that goes to, what I was saying about your generation of artists being so welcoming and friendly to each other, because that group right there is a prime example of that. Yeah, shout out June. She's super cool. Okay. Okay. All right. So on your Twitter, your pin tweet. Oh, let me find it so I can take a look at it. Oh, hold on. No, I think it's on your Instagram. Okay, well, I saw maybe two versions of this. I think it's a self-portrait that you made and it has the poetry around it. Okay. All right. Wonderful piece, of course. But first of all, is that the first self-portrait that you made of yourself? And what made you decide to put the poetry around it also? Was it sort of to give an idea to the people of kind of who you are and what you're about?
A little bit. It's not the first, but I definitely wanted it to have my essence, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't just draw, I write. So I wanted that to be a part of the piece. And It's sort of, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It looks chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sort of what I wanted it to look like, because my brain is really like it's always going, always going. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to create a self-portrait that just wasn't just my face, but also who I am.
Yeah, no, it's great. It came out beautifully. Okay, so have you always been writing poetry too, for as long as you've been doing art?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because I've always journaled, and like I
Okay.
sort of, the way that I journal is almost poetic. It's like
Yeah.
I in poetry, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right, so then, okay, well, here's a question then. What if you had to do one, what would you do?
I feel bad saying this, but I'd probably write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so then
if I
yeah,
had to choose.
if you had to, of course. So what inspired you to start writing poetry, to write it more seriously, other than, just journaling?
I think I just shared it with somebody one day. Like, yeah, I shared it with somebody one day, and like they were so overwhelmed with emotions. They were like, wow, like I feel like you like went into my head or went into my heart and out my feelings and put it on paper. And I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can like do that for other people. Maybe other people like inspired or will relate to what I have to say. So that's why I decided to.
Okay. All right. So do you see yourself doing more of like those sorts of pieces, with the, with the, okay. Yeah. I think that's fantastic. Have you ever like performed any of your poetry or anything like that? Or ever thought about writing? No?
Maybe this is gonna sound really bad, but poetry never sounds great out loud to me.
Okay. Okay.
Always sounds so performative. And I don't want to be
Oh,
like,
sure.
maybe it's how other people perform their work, like
Yeah.
the spoken stuff, but I don't like the way it's
Okay.
usually presented. It sounds better than like performing. So
Okay.
maybe I'll try and just in my own way.
Yeah. What? I agree with you too. Yeah. It gets a little too showy, with the, yeah, I like it. Just, just say it, just speak it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. Yeah. I agree. Okay. All right. All right. I want to just talk about some pieces of yours that I love. There is a piece called Olive. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Olive. It's just another example of how you beautifully portray, just the feminine aspect of women. Art, you got you got a piece of Rihanna, and it's two parts. And then when I go to the next one, I just had to bring this up because I think it's great. And it's pictures of Drake crying, little Drake faces all over it. Okay, so all right, so I think the caption was like, art should be fun. All right,
Yeah.
so and that is, it's harmless. It's funny though. I thought it was great because when you're creating, I understand you're probably in a very serious mode, trying to get things done. But do you take the time, like with that piece in journal, just to kind of have fun with it? Is that something that you like to do?
Yeah, I try to, because once art gets too serious and I find myself not enjoying it anymore, like I won't be able to create like to the full potential.
Mm-hmm.
I just won't care.
Yeah.
So having time out to just draw things that are maybe silly or just don't really have much meaning besides it just being enjoyable, important.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, because when I came across that, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, because you can, there are times to be serious, but you also have to take time to have fun. And
yeah.
that piece is fun. I like it.
Okay.
Seeing double.
Mhm.
Okay.
That one was
Fantastic piece.
fun.
What's that?
That was just another fun one.
Yeah, yeah, and I love this one too. Even like you said, it's a fun one. It still came out great, and it still captures that beautiful essence that I love in all your pieces. It's wonderful. Okay, so have you? I know this is kind of a popular thing right now amongst artists. I actually just interviewed a really prolific NFT artist, but have you ever thought about reaching into that space?
I've definitely thought about it, but every time I try to like give myself the time to actually put myself in a space, it's like it always like slips my mind, or I just like, man, maybe not. Like I don't know if it's for me. Like, I really
Uh-huh.
don't.
Yeah.
Something always stops me, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
I
Because I
don't
mean,
know.
well, personally, I really think you should. I understand it's not, you have to mint these things. It's not free, but I think that yeah, I think you should. Yeah, these
Okay.
are wonderful. Yeah. Just my humble opinion, of course. Okay. All right. All right. I've got just a nice question for you. If you could go anywhere in the world just to create and be inspired, other than Toronto, where would you go?
Japan,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Why is that?
I've always wanted to go there and I've never gone. And
Uh-huh.
like I want to go and experience not just like all the fun city stuff, but also the country stuff. Like it looks beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
I think that would be very inspiring for me because I like being in like really beautiful country spaces. So
Mhm. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Okay. So do you think that, I mean, because now I think it's the great thing for artists now, as opposed to, like 20 years ago, is the internet. It's wonderful. So I know you've shown before, but have you found more, I don't know, more clients or just more support online as opposed to, just being in a gallery or a group show or something like that?
Yeah. Online, I find people find you a lot easier and people are more likely to reach out because I feel like it's less pressure
Yeah.
reaching
Yeah.
out. Um, so social media has been like a huge way for me to get clients. Um, just by them seeing my work
Yeah.
online, they repost it or like they visit my website or something. Um, but yeah, I find online is where I get most of my clientele.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about social media. It's well, that's how I found you. And pretty almost all but like a couple of the artists I've interviewed, I just, reached out online, met a couple in person. But yeah, it's great too, because before, even just to try and get your artwork in a gallery, or you've got to submit it, and then it's got to be approved, and it's all sorts of things that go into it. But social media, and that's why, like I said, I love this young generation of artists, because they're always retweeting, and there's all these great art threads on especially on Twitter. That's where I find most of my people. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. Is there any artist, whether it be, big artists, or, just someone that you've met online, that inspires you?
We studied Salvador Dali a lot in school.
Okay.
He inspires me heavy. Like he's one of the only, I haven't really studied like old masters or like other
Sure.
like really famous artists
Mhm.
because like I said, I'm in my own world when it comes
Yeah.
to art.
Yeah.
But Salvador Dali, like I really, really,
Yeah.
really, really like his work.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. He's an interesting guy too. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay.
And just the artists that I meet on Twitter and Instagram,
Yeah.
them too, like almost everybody inspires me. Like if I follow them, they've inspired me in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Was there ever a time, um, I mean, right now, because now, you've got a lot of great things out here, but maybe early on when you first decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do for a living, that you thought about giving up, or maybe thought maybe this wasn't for you. And how did you get through that?
Um, I actually did. I wouldn't say I gave up, but I sort of just like it inevitably, like because my life got so busy, just
Hmm.
physically, I didn't do art for a few years, I want to say.
Okay.
But one day I just decided to start sketching again. And then I did. My boyfriend at the time, he had a friend who wanted like work done, like
Hmm.
artwork done for, I think, a flyer or some kind of cover or something. And then I did it. And I was like, wow, this was really like I enjoyed doing that. And then I
Yeah.
just to do more work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after that,
Oh, that's great. That's good.
yeah,
All right. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's well, I'm glad you picked it back up. Okay, yeah, because it's like I said, I absolutely love your artwork.
thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing though. The way that you interpret your references, like you show like the reference and then the piece that you make, it's absolutely great because like I said before, you have to make these things your own, or
Mhm.
it won't stand out. And that's the one thing that I really love about your art is you'll take the reference and just make it completely your own. And I think that a lot of artists, I mean, could stand to take a look at these, because when you use a reference, especially if it's a person, um, it's very easy to just draw it exactly, right? But I think what you do is absolutely wonderful. And is there a sort of method that you use when you're using a reference and creating a piece from that?
I just sketch, like I do a rough sketch of what like the shapes are, and like I try to get it
Hmm.
as close as possible. And then once I'm done with that sketch, I sort of manipulate it
Yeah, yeah,
after and
yeah.
then get want it to look. Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah, yeah. That's, yeah, it's absolutely great. Yeah, you do a great job. I like to ask this question at the end. Um, is there any advice that you would give to a young artist that you wish that someone had gave you when you first started?
Hmm. Yes. Um, be as consistent as possible with your learning, not necessarily with sharing, but with your learning. Like, never stop trying to learn. Like, no matter how difficult something's going to seem like now, like, you will see an astronomical amount of growth if you just keep going. Like, just keep going, even if it's like one sketch a day, or like you just study hands one day, or like study hands for a week, or study, like it's so important to just continue learning and being consistent with that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
always draw, keep drawing. Like, that's really it. Because I feel like over time your style develops, your messages develop, you as a person, like what's important to you changes, and I feel like your art will grow with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great advice. That's funny. That's a common thing I get from artists. Just keep doing it. Like if you stop, it's you're not doing yourself any favors.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Where can the people find you? What is the best place for people to find your work, Miss Ashley Monique?
You can find it on my website, hiashlymonique.com, and on all my social media platforms, which I think everything is Hi Ashley Monique. So
Okay.
you'll be able to everything there.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you for having
And all right. And